only speaking with us now, you can ask
Right.
the question again, and then there'll be no interruptions from those that want to trip us up or,
Yeah.
like what they were doing.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's definitely the goal, because I could see him kind of getting it. And then there was, the time in the interim when he was kind of getting it by his buddies and saying, you can't be doing this. This is going to cause so much division. And, I could tell that he was maybe like thinking, oh, yeah, And so then putting it off for that many weeks later, it just kind of seemed like he just wanted to just all control delete. So I told Jeremy, I said, please, reach out to him and try to get a meeting so that we can kind of just get him back in the right path and the right direction,
So you do know for sure that he isn't inviting his people, right? Since
Yeah,
it's going to be
so
on his Zoom.
so that's gonna be so all the other people he's doing our part 4 on it's July 6th, so it's still like a few weeks away.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then so earlier this week I had emailed them and say, hey, if you would like, we can do a private session and get to know your thoughts or what you think about this without.
Okay, wonderful.
And he agreed.
Yeah, praise yeah.
Perfect. Okay, wonderful.
So I'm just, again, I want to just make sure that we do it right and that we don't just jump in there and just try to tackle them with things. And
agreed.
Yeah, and to do it, based on maybe what he says, and maybe, yeah, you're right. Maybe he should be the one to initiate his thoughts first.
Yep, and ask the questions. Yes.
And we should be able to, respect his thoughts and be able to then guide him from there to where we, need to guide him. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fine.
And since I speak so
Hallelujah,
he can probably understand me because he's
right,
older.
right. And I've watched him. I did not know he was the one that did Enoch Skywalker. I never, I was introduced to his book years ago. Somebody handed it to me and my husband, like back in 2011 or something, at a gathering in Florida. And I didn't have a whole lot of use for the Book of Enoch, and I just thought, oh wow, that's weird, Enoch Skywalker, and I didn't, but he's the one that did it, and he said that he studied the Greek and the Hebrew. He's done interpretations of things, not interpretations, translations and stuff. So I am just so thankful. Oh, Ken, thank you, Ken. So we'll just allow only the Spirit of our Father to speak. No women speak, no men speak, only the Spirit of our Abba, right?
Absolutely. Yes. And yeah, I think just having basically a one-on-one for the most part, without all the interference, it's going to help them understand more without all the pushback and the negative, oh, how can you break, the Saturday, just the nonsensical stuff,
Yeah, we should probably put in, make sure we add that verse in Acts and Amos about Saturn, about the worship of Saturn and how it correlates to the Sabbath.
Yeah.
I mean, when Aaron came out with that, I was just like, there it is.
Yeah, I think he understands about the synagogue apostaton. I'm not 100% though. I can't say for sure.
Well, I do know one thing. I know that we can pray together, and I know that we can all surrender and ask our Abba to work through each of us. Give us ears to hear what he's saying and what he means by what he's saying. Give us hearts that respond and get what the Spirit would have us say instead of our mental arguments that make so much good sense to us, but might not be what he needs to hear right now.
Hallelujah, sister.
Praise Yahuah.
Hey, I just want to bring some awareness also to off topic to what the algorithm is doing, and you guys may be aware of this, but so because me and my daughters, like we have little battles all the time, but we always still talk, like we always still love each other, and we share scriptures even though we'll be in the middle of an argument. And a couple weeks ago I noticed I had shared something on Facebook because I was upset with one of my daughters, and my baby daughter, she's like, Mommy, as soon as you shared this on your Facebook, this popped up on my Facebook, and it was like validating what she was saying. And then, I had something on mine that was validating what I was saying. And just now I was talking to one of my daughters again, and I can share it with you guys. On my TikTok, it came up and it says, hearing all the lies your kid is spreading about you to get validation for going no contact, and you're heartbreaking. And I shared that with my daughter because we're just now talking again. And I'm like, you need to be careful, because I know it's coming up on her Facebook too, because I see her sharing stuff. So in our news feed, and these algorithms are like targeting the way you're feeling. And so if you're having a dispute against somebody or whatever, you're going to be getting all this validation coming up for how you're feeling. And then they're going to be getting all this validation coming up about how they're feeling. And it's very clever, and it's a demon on this internet, whatever you want to call it. But it's like, we really need the Ruach, because you're seeing what you want to see, and then they're seeing what they want to see, and then you're not getting anywhere. So I just wanted to bring that up because it's dangerous.
No, that happened with Katrina. She was telling me, she was just thinking, what was it, like eyelashes or something? Just thinking about it, and then all of a sudden all these ads came up.
Yeah, it was a thought in my head. I don't remember how or why it came up about the eyelashes, but I was only thinking it in my head. And all of a sudden, all these eyelashes stuff popped up. So it's definitely reading our minds, because I've had it happen to me, and it's kind of freaky.
I have a different view on that. I believe that and now with this thing that I just sent you all, that somebody sent me, it's like, oh wow, that's even more interesting. I believe that the enemy of souls can suggest thoughts into our minds.
There you go.
He can hit nerve endings, have us have feelings in our bodies, and their temptations. And he can interject thoughts into other people's minds, the same thoughts even. And then we think, oh, wow,
Those are our thoughts. Yes.
Right.
Yep.
And so even with this, I never knew this with the subliminal messaging that's going on, but it may be that the enemy is putting a thought into your mind about your eyelashes, and you think you're thinking it, but it's doing that, and it's connecting it with your social media somehow. And then it's like, oh, wow, they know what we're thinking. No, they don't.
See,
The enemy
cannot read our thoughts. That area is the most holy place that only Yah can reach. That only Yah can read our thoughts.
He's not having to read our thoughts. We're putting it on the internet.
There
we're
you
typing
go.
It in. We're typing it into our notes. Yeah, your phone is your thoughts. I mean, what's in your notes right now? Your thoughts. I mean, what are you texting back and forth to people? Private messaging.
Yes.
Yeah,
he reads us. Yes.
Exactly. He's not reading our thoughts, but he knows exactly what we're typing, and we're linked up.
Exactly.
And it's dangerous. And me and my girls, you know, because we got kidnapped, we have a bond that you guys, I wish everybody had a bond like we do, because even when we're at our worst, we still will look out for each other. And it's only because of that we see what he's doing. And I'm like, wow, man. Because at first we didn't realize it. And I'm like, oh, you know, that's so sad. You know, look what my daughter's posting. You know, is that true about me? Am I being this terrible mother? And it's like even got me thinking, like, man, I hurt her. But no, I'm putting up boundaries. And then this demon is putting on her Facebook, oh, you know, one of the posts she shared, it said, when your parents are okay not seeing you, that's not okay, or that's weird. Like that, I'm not okay seeing her, but that's what it put up in front of her face, and that's what it led her to believe and influenced her to think that's true.
Yeah, see, the enemy watches us so carefully. He watches our actions. He watches, just like Sumi said, what we put down, either on Facebook or, yes.
We gave him our pocketbook or whatever men carry. Like, we handed him the keys to our minds. And so we have to be very careful now about what we share. And when you're scrolling TikTok, just please know everything you see is what you want to see. You have to go looking. Look how hard you have to go looking for the truth. When you get on Google and you say, Google, what is the word for moon? Every time it's going to say HaKodesh. And if you don't already know the truth, you're going to be deceived. We have to... Well, that's why it says even the elect will be if they could be deceived, they would. Because if we didn't know the truth, we would definitely be deceived. Because every bit of information you type in and you're looking for an answer, it gives you an answer. And why would it lie? You know, everybody's getting these answers.
This is the reason why whenever I pray out loud, I am asking Yah to protect my prayer so the enemy cannot either hear it or cannot throw a wrench into it. I ask for protection when I pray out loud.
We just have to be vigilant.
In my mind, like I said, that the area of the mind is the most holy place, and only Yah has access to the mind. The enemy can only guess what we're thinking, but he pretty much knows us because he's been studying us for so many thousands of years.
Exactly. And we're giving him all this intel, like we've opened up our house to him. And now we have to be able to counteract what he's doing, and we have to have the words to tell people, hey, I know this is what you're seeing, but this is not what's happening. Exactly. And they have to be, and they have to see our walk and believe us because they see our walk. And that's why we have to walk so carefully, because if we're out here doing whatever and we're trying to also minister, it's so deceptive out here that nobody's going to believe us. So that's why it's so important that we look out for each other, and we don't, you know, even if we get mad at each other, or if we think somebody's doing something wrong, like, we need to come in love and tell that person, because Satan is out here, and our little group is powerful, and he is going to want to come after us, and he is going to want to destroy it. And we have to be vigilant and understand that we can't let that happen no matter what. Yeah, exactly. Hallelujah. And I just wanted to share that because it's happening. Like, it's literally happening to everybody. Even Angel's been, like, you know, asking for prayer and stuff, because he's been seeing all these things happening too, you know, to do with like AI, and thinking that things are reading his mind. And I was trying to explain to him what's going on. Yeah. But I mean, he's just now coming into some truth himself. And as a baby coming in, that's scary stuff, you know?
They monitor us so closely.
You know, on Facebook, when they have underneath every just normal post, they have like AI questions that they've got ready for you to click on that are so tempting, you know, like stay away things. From it. Yeah, but I mean, everybody's going to be tempted to just press those. There's very tempting questions that are to do with every post, and you've only got to click on it, and then it's starting to have an interaction with you, and also
it is tempting.
Get a relationship,
that stupid AI writer thing, and to be able to interact with it because it's so smart. Listen, I can take apart anything in my house, my vehicle, anything. Like, I love AI. Like, I loved it. I loved working on stuff, tinkering with stuff, taking TVs, computers apart. Like, that was my thing. And now, and I seen where it was going. And when my son, he first started telling me about the VR headsets, I said, son, don't do it. Don't do it. I said, it's not evil. It's not that it's evil. It's awesome. I think it's awesome. I would love to get like lost in that and go flying off mountains and stuff. I said, but what it's going to be used for is distraction and just blatant evil. And like my children, praise y'all, they listen to me about a lot of stuff because it's just this technology is what we've been waiting on, and we got to fight it, and we got to be very aware of what it's doing and what its purpose is.
That's why when it asks you survey questions, even if it's not AI, but it asks you survey questions, don't answer them, because that's their way of getting into your head to get to see how you think, how you feel. That's the last thing you want to do is take surveys or do any kind of.
Exactly. I opened up that AI thing the other day because I was so mad. I opened it up and I was like, what's its name? I can't remember its name right now, the little AI thing. And it was like, how can I help you? And I was just like, I rebuke you, Satan, Leviathan. I rebuke you. I bind you. And it was like, I understand you feel strongly about this.
On my feed, like those things will pop up right when you go to hit the like it'll pop up and like your fingers are already like in motion to the screen and it pops up and then you click on that ad instead of the like. That's what my phone does anyway. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's always in your face, just like Hasatan.
Yeah, precisely. But no, I didn't think about it like that. It's not them being able to read minds. It's just the thoughts of the enemy he's whispering.
Yes.
And then those thoughts, like he's the principality of the air. So then, therefore, it goes to this AI, and then there you go. Now you got ads.
Yeah, when I notice those questions from AI especially on posts on Facebook, I will not interact with that thing. There's no way, because they are trying to get into your head. And they can if you answer their questions. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, correct.
But the thing is that people are doing that, and they're learning very quickly. The AI are learning about everyone very quickly. It's like one of those, game shows many years ago where they put somebody in a house together and, they see how do you put, a gay person with whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like, and they have to see what happens. And they're learning how people interact, and that's their training ground. So that's what they want it for.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen some channels, and they've asked these AI questions, and they catch the AI in a lie. And then once you do that, though, it'll start telling you the truth, which is really interesting.
And then the AI will even say, "Oh, you're pretty smart."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
I won't mess with AI.
Yeah, me either. But what it does is it gauges people and the questions they ask. So it's just going to give the, narrative answers to just the regular sheeple who aren't going to question it. But as soon as you question it, it's like, oh, so you already know. Well, here's some more answers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's really interesting,
Yeah.
I wonder how much that is, we're forbidden to commune with the dead. Some people think that AI can only tell you what it's been programmed to tell you. Other people think there's a sentient being in some of these things.
Yeah, like the Nephilim, they're demon spirits, I believe, are infiltrating this and these robots.
Exactly. And there's been plenty of people who have asked questions, and they're like, they've asked, who is your father? Are you a demon? And they were like, yeah, my father's Satan, and yes, we're the spirit of the Nephilim, things like that.
Or we are legion, for we are many.
Yeah, that too. That's why I believe
they asked that of the AI, and the AI told them that?
Yeah, it was really wild. There,
think I'd like
it
to
was a
see some
while.
evidence of that. That's pretty wild, but I don't want to use my phone to do it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I won't risk open myself up to that kind of demonic. No, no thanks.
yeah,
I believe it
exactly.
when other people say. I know not to trust it.
Yeah, no, I watched it because it was like AI admits Satan's its father, and I was like, what? No way. And I looked, and it was some dude just questioning it, and it was admitting it's the spirit of a Nephilim, and its father is Satan, things like that. It was just really
Yep.
strange. But I could try to
Wow.
find some of those videos later on.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would
at
be
least it's
interesting.
telling the truth. But there's a couple of people I'm real concerned about. If there was something that was like that, if I could share it with them, that'd be a real blessing.
Yeah, and like what Ken says, the AI can, just from a couple pictures and a couple voice clips, they can, remake dead loved ones and then like speak to it like you're speaking to your, dead grandmother or something like that. Yeah, it's really wild.
That's why we have to know what the scripture says about the state of the dead, what happens to you when you
Yeah.
die. That's the reason why that is the foundation of all things. Because that's what it's coming down to. Literally, if it doesn't line up with the word of Yahuah, then yeah, there's no truth in it.
Well, one of the things that has always interested me ever since I found out about what they're doing, and I've been really slow on it because I didn't do the technology as early on as some people, and that is they've got a little bit of your voice, they've got a little bit of your face, your image, and they can make that image say anything they want it to say, and they've got enough of your voice and your timbre and stuff to try to make it sound like you saying something that you didn't say. I mean, all they'd have to do with some of this stuff is take what we do say out of context, but they have no conscience about doing things like that to make us look like we're enemy number one or something.
Well, just like on these little clips on Facebook, it'll do an AI little mini video of people. They didn't actually do it or say it, but they do. They have their face, they have their voice, and it's playing out on these short little clips. But it's AI. But that actor or actress really didn't do it. So that's absolutely correct. That's the reason why that people shouldn't believe these things that they see on the internet, especially when you can tell it's AI, and they'll sit there and try to say, oh, but you were there at such and such time, this is what you said, this is what you did, and they use the AI, the video clips. Have you seen those little video clips on Facebook, what they do with
No,
some of these?
I'm not on Facebook.
Anybody else, have you noticed any of these short clips that AI produced with certain actors or actresses, or images of when they were young to up when they're older, and it shows you each phase?
I've
Yeah.
seen something like that on YouTube.
Or bringing their little dead kids and stuff back to life.
Yes,
That's sick.
yes,
That is sick.
yes. So this is what they're going to do to try to bear false witness against Yah's people by using AI, saying this was you. No, it wasn't. It's your AI that's trying to bear false witness, whatever it may be. But of course, they're not going to listen. If they want to put you in prison or put you to death, Yah's glory.
Right. And this is the thing, and people who are deceived will believe anything. I mean, a lot of people believe that man walked on the moon, and and those of us who don't believe that, we're the crazy ones.
Yeah,
even
I've
though
had a couple of
they
people
can't
unfriend
figure
me.
out how to get to the moon anymore. They
Right.
lost that back when, right?
Oh my goodness. I actually lost a couple of friends on Facebook when I was trying to tell them that NASA was started by a bunch of Freemasons, satanic Freemasons, and it's all a hoax. They literally blocked me just for that.
I believe
Yeah,
that's the reason
that's a
our
huge veil.
reputation. I think that's the reason
I'm sorry,
why
go
our
ahead, Claire.
reputation. I was just going to say, like, I think that's the reason why our reputation should go before us, like in physical works, you know, rather than on social media. I mean, I'm not, you know, any better. I'm always on social media, but it is important that our reputation in the world with people that see us physically, people that see us, our reputation of doing, you know, the things we should be doing, things that Yeshua told us to do, casting out demons, healing the sick, sharing the gospel.
Hallelujah.
And this is what we've been doing, but we have had a big gap because we were doing this. We were doing this for a few years, and then COVID just put complete fear into us. Whereas lots of people carried on, our friends carried on, and then our friends excommunicated us because we even mentioned the word Sabbath, and so that we were banned from everything. And so now we've got no evangelists that we hang out with, but. I've been praying and praying about that, like, oh, we need to get back into doing physical, actual stuff rather than just talking, which is everyone can just talk. Everyone can, you know, take a, you know, what's it called? You know, you can take any selfie or whatever of yourself, and in the background it might look nice, but the rest of your house is the tip, and you know it's a complete hypocrisy, and all just for hits on your channel or something. Everyone can do that on social media, but our reputation should be that in real life we're out there. In real life, people know us, because let's be blunt about this. If we were to be like beheaded or put somewhere where in public, you know, where they're going to want to get rid of us, our reputation would stand before us. People would say, wait,
Yeah.
these people, you know,
Yes.
because they see us, they physically see us. They wouldn't be sending us lot from UK to America in front of complete strangers. They would be doing stuff here with us, and it will be the people out in the streets that know us. You know, it's not going to be something. Hopefully, I mean, I don't think it'll be stick a headset on and you're all going to get electrocuted in your bedroom. It's going to be, you know, you're going to be taken somewhere. But you know what I mean. It should be. We should be physically doing these things. So. And so anyway, this is really amazing recently because I've been praying about this, and like just tiny little things have been happening because I really feel like it's really, really important. And a couple of days ago, I advertised an armchair, and my husband came home, and because I'd moved it to a different place, he sat in it, and he came home and he had one key for the house. And he dropped it down the side and fell asleep. And the next day, a lady bought the armchair. And so she bought the armchair, and he couldn't find his key that day. And he didn't know where it was. And I said, well, trace your steps back. You know, did you change your trousers? Are they in a different pocket? And he remembered it was on the armchair. He fell asleep. So I rang the lady. And so today we ended up going around to see her. And while before I was like going around to see her, she told me, oh, thank you for the armchair, because every night I'm in so much pain. I cannot lay down in my bed. I am in so much pain. I have to sit up every night at the top of my stairs, and I sit there in this hallway and at the top of the stairs on Facebook, just looking at nothing, you know, because I'm in pain all night. And then she started telling me all these other problems with her body. So between asking her, have you got the key, and going and getting the key from her today, she laid it all out that she needed all this healing. So I said to Tim, my husband, like, I've been praying about this. We need to get back to doing it. So we went round there today and ended up doing, like, you know, what we would normally do, which is asking her, have you got anyone you need to forgive? Have you got anyone anything you need to repent of, anything else? So she was telling us about people she needs to forgive, and we led her in a prayer of that, and then and then basically prayed for her for healing, cast out any unforgiveness, any arthritis, and you know, any other things that might be, and also generational stuff to do with abortion and miscarriage and stuff like that. So much stuff, but basically that she's now got my contacts, and there seems to be like a whole load of women automatically wanting to contact me from nowhere, because I'm praying that we need to, it's the same message what you're saying here about AI. They get into they're giving us thoughts, but everybody's on social media. We're so into the social media, we really need to be out there. So that passion to do that, recently I've had like about 4 or 5 women, just random strangers who I've met in a coffee shop. One lady in a coffee shop, I saw her with her grandchild, and I had my grandchild, and I started talking to her about how hard it is as a grandmother and stuff. And she messaged me today as well, like 10 minutes before we went to see this other lady. And I was like, wow, this is really weird. Like I've been praying about like doing this, getting out. And so I'm just saying it doesn't have to be the traditional, like stand on the street corner with a microphone. We can just do it in our daily walk. And I'm just trying to encourage people, to try and get out there and like start putting it out, because we can't ignore the fact that it does say in the scriptures, it says that, they will be looking in the last days, or wherever that is written, they will be looking for people with tzitzis. They'll be looking for them. And doesn't it say something like there'll be 10 women around one man, all trying to marry that man? That people will want the people with tzitzis, because there will be no holiness anywhere else. So, we need to be out there.
Hallelujah. Sister, the question that we should ask, what's our highest form of worship that we can give to Yahuah? Our highest form of worship is our day-to-day obedience to Him. That is the most beautiful praise and worship we can ever give to Him. And it's with our daily interactions with those around us. And that is the biggest witness that any of us, you don't have to say a word. You're just living out your faith and obedience, and people will know there's something different about you. Yeah. Praise His name. And you know what? When we profess to be His children, and yet we're showing the exact opposite, that is what it truly means to take His name in vain, is when we're professing Him, but we're acting like the devil, basically. That's how we take His name in vain. It's a literal, how are we living our lives? Are we being that witness in how we live, not in what we say? Words are they could be so meaningless. It's like, okay, you talk the talk, but do you seriously walk the walk? Are you really walking the walk? So 100% in agreement, Sister Claire.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, is this recorded, this message? Are we recording this, Jeremy?
Yeah, it's being recorded.
Yeah. Okay. I was just going to ask if anybody listening can pray for my daughter. Her name's Emma, but she's the one that's fleeing domestic abuse. So she's obviously got a lot of torment going on, and she's got a little baby who's now 7 months old, and she's living with us. She's homeless. We've got a flat to view tomorrow, so hopefully she'll find her own flat. She'll be able to move in. But the reason I was going to say praying, because she's like fallen away from following Yah, and she was like going to church, say 3 years ago, and she's not Torah, but she was at least going to church. She's a worship leader and everything, but yeah, she's fallen away and got involved with an unbeliever. But today it came to a bit of a head, because we said, can we borrow your car to go and visit this lady and collect the key that she dropped in the armchair, and while we're going, I'll come as well, because we'll both pray for this lady. And she basically felt quite I don't know what the word is, but she said, like, well, that's a shock. I didn't expect you to go and pray for the lady. because for many years we were working like constantly with so many people, and she said that as of her childhood, I guess it was more like teenage years, for about 10 years or 8 years, we were like pastors. She said we were more like pastors because we were spent all our time with other people, praying for people and doing deliverance and stuff. She's a bit like resentful of those years, and so straight away she said today, she said, don't go in my car then. You're not going to go and pray, and no, I don't want you using my car. Go by bus. Well, it would have taken a whole hour to get there and another hour to come back. And my husband had to go to bed like pretty soon. So she kind of manifested a little bit, and basically started speaking some words that were not her, and I was praying under my breath, and she basically said, you're not going to pray. No, you're not going to pray. And I'm like, this is not good. This is not you saying this. So I went in the other room and I was like binding this spirit that was trying to take control. And I actually said, before I went out, I said, I need to go because we need to pray for this lady. And if you stop us from going, then the blood will be on your hands that this lady has not been prayed for. Yeah. And she's a Christian already, this lady, but that's not the point. The point was, we were doing something that she might not have had experience of before or whatever, and for her healing and what that might lead to. Anyway, I went in the other room and prayed, and I was binding stuff. And then about 2 minutes later, she came out. She went, okay, I've changed my mind. You can go. Yeah, go there and spend as much time as you like. And then she said, I just needed a little time to think about it. And as we was going out the door, the last thing she said was, well, Lisa, I don't want the blood on my hands. But what I'm trying to say is that if you can pray for her, because she's like, I really want her to, like, because she might be moving out very soon, maybe next week or something. And I need to, she needs prayer for her and the baby, and for her to come back to Yah, to actually be like calling out in prayer, because she's away from him at the moment. Yeah, so that's what I just wanted to say. If we can have prayer, whenever you're off the call, just if you can remember Emma and pray for her. There was something else I wanted to say. Is it possible I can just say something, complete change of subject? Do you know Eddie Chumney?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we know who he is.
So he's coming to UK, I think on the 20th or around about then, or 19th or something like that, of July. And he is being hosted by joint venture Eating Wild Honey and Locusts, which is Jessica Knock, who also colludes with Stephen Pidgeon. And they're joining with Malak Ministries. Malak Ministries is a couple who are in their 70s, even 80s, I don't know. And they are in Yorkshire. And so Malak Ministries hosted Eddie last year, and they were going to do it on their own, but Eating Wild Honey managed to grab them, and they managed to sort of work together. I think it was a bit sneaky, to be honest. I think Eating Wild Honey kind of sort of sneaked up beside and then took over. So anyway, this year is a second chance at having Eddie over. So I was a bit like upset about it, and I was thinking, last year Stephen Pidgeon was, everybody saw Eddie on the live with Libby, and how Stephen Pidgeon didn't really care and everything. Well, I spoke to Kath, who's the lady from Malak, and I said to her, about Eddie coming over, like how are you with the Zadok calendar? Because I've been inviting her to come on this group. Okay, I've been inviting her to understand. I've shared with her Jeremy's calendar YouTube video, the revised one and everything. Me myself, I haven't actually watched it all myself, but I'm doing my best to send it to everyone. And anyway, she messaged me and rang me up about last week and said that it is absolutely amazing, and can I please keep sending her the links to these lives, She can't come on here because they're an old couple and they go to bed early, and they're very, very busy because they have lots of grandchildren that they have to look after. But they are very, very interested, and they said the penny dropped, and they really, really understand the real, like this calendar, this rather than Eddie's calendar, which isn't Eddie's the one that stays as a Saturday Sabbath, but it's the same.
Yeah,
Apart from,
exactly.
you're a bit quiet, Jeremy. It's the same, but just Saturday. It doesn't have the change in day.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
They do
right.
the
So they.
yeah.
Right. So they've listened to it, and now they've managed to get their heads around it, and they understand about the change in Sabbath day. And so she said to me, I'm really, really happy that I understand it. And she said, I really want Eddie to understand it before he gets to talk to a whole load of people at conferences while he's in the UK. So she said to me that she's arranged for a certain old lady, who we all know, to meet up with Eddie the first day that he flies in. As he arrives, Libby is going to be meeting up with Eddie to explain this calendar.
Oh, praise Yah! Wonderful.
Yes,
That's wonderful.
But we're not allowed to.
Exciting.
Please don't hassle Libby about it. Yeah, I promised her that we won't hassle Libby about it. It's just between us that we know that we all need to pray for Libby and Eddie, so that she can have that time to share it with him. So it will be around about the 20th or something. He's flying into the UK, and then Malak are going to arrange it so Libby can be with him somewhere and spend a day or two or something talking to him about the calendar, and hopefully because he's got no rights really, because he's under they're paying for him, they're carrying traveling around with him and everything, so they're going to sort of usher him to Libby. So hopefully he'll know that, and then he's going to do, I think, about 3 days or something at a private house with people that I know, but it's a select few. We're not allowed to go to that one because it's only a small place. So hopefully he will have it in his head. I don't know. I wonder if he'll start telling people. Then after that house meeting, which I think there's about 8 people at, he's going to do this larger meeting where there's literally 3 houses that have been booked: an 11-person house, 8-person house, and another 8-person house that have been booked to do at a venue. And so he'll be teaching there. So I really, really pray that this is the 2nd year that we've got a chance to try and get it into his head.
Yes, we'll be definitely praying for those gatherings.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, that's what I had to say anyway.
Yeah, me and Katrina were talking to Libby last night, and she kind of mentioned someone, but she didn't say who.
How is she feeling? How is she doing, Jeremy?
I haven't spoke to her how is she? Because I haven't spoke to her either.
She's feeling much better. I think she joined us our last discussion, but she didn't say much. She said she was just listening.
Yeah, and she didn't stay on very long either.
Yeah, she said her cough's gone from being a wet cough to a dry cough, so it's not that bad now. So she said that she's going to be meeting somebody and then teaching them about this calendar. Is that what she said?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay, that's what it was.
I might have to say putting this one on air for until after that happens.
Yeah, that's what I was asking if it was being recorded.
Yeah, that's right. It is being recorded.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I just thought everybody needed to know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really exciting because like Libby's so I don't know, short and blunt about everything. How she comes out with it is so easy to understand.
Yeah, truly.
Oh, and the other thing was the teaching. They're getting Eddie to share is like I can't remember. I think I might have shared it with you. I can't remember the name of it now. It's sorry, this is how much I can. I might have to mute myself because I can't find it. I'm looking for it on here. What is it called? Oh no, it's sorry, it's shared on their channel. It's not actually here. Yeah. It's about John the Baptist and how Zadok came into being and stuff. I don't really understand, but they've shared it on Malak. If anybody looks at Malak Ministries, they'll see there's preview posts of what Eddie's going to be sharing. So they've kind of primed it so that he will only literally speak about the calendar. Whereas last time he came over, he came for Sukkot and he wasn't allowed to talk about the calendar. He was only allowed to talk about other things. So it should be really good.
They like controlled what he can talk about.
Well, yeah, they put it on there. I can't do it at the same time as talking. But oh, what it is, I've got a stupid block on I've got a block on my phone which blocked everything for Sabbath, so I can't go into Facebook. But if you go into Malak Ministries, I'm sure it was like, yeah, they've given a preview of like this is the teaching that Eddie's going to be doing, and it was about John the Baptist or something. I don't know. I'm sorry. I've just repeated myself.
We've gone over that here as well. How Messiah is connected to the sons of Zadok, and John the Baptist is also the son of Zadok. And
yeah, that's probably it. It's one of his teachings anyway. It's online that he did.
awesome. That should be great. Eddie Chemney's got to talk about it? Or
yeah.
the other?
No, Eddie's going to be doing the teaching. Yeah. He's
Awesome.
I'm a bit dubious about like what the others. I hope there aren't going to be other speakers. I really hope it's just him. I don't know if there are any others. Because they have just advertised it as just him. But when we ended up going to Sukkot, there was a whole load of other people, including Stephen Pidgeon. So I felt like I wanted a third of my money back because it was like Eddie was only speaking 1/3 of the actual time. But yeah, I think it was just him. I think it's just him that's booked in. So that's the preview that they've advertised. They said this is a preview to what he's going to be teaching. It was that video. So yeah, so it's all set up that he has to talk about the calendar.
Good. I pray Libby is able to reach him and see these things, because he's been kind of following for the whole priestly cycle determines the year, and the moon phases are determining that, and none of that it doesn't add up or line up.
Yeah, well, they're going to collect him from the airport, and I think they've arranged it so that I think there's a day or two before he goes to the first house. I hope they are going to be able to get him, because the first house, the guy who is arranging it, he's not to do with Malak, so I hope he hasn't made any private arrangements for that day. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I pray Libby is able to reach him. It would be great. And because he's going for that moon phase thing, like I said, and it just doesn't work. But yeah, all we can do is pray. But yeah, we do have about 2 hours and 9 minutes until our Jackson Snyder Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead,
was just
sister.
okay. I just remember hearing one of his testimonies when he was giving the presentation on the calendar. This was probably over a year ago, and he is a humble guy, and with him changing his view on many things when it came to the calendar, I truly believe that, in Yah's time, he knows. I truly believe he will come to this truth. I haven't heard him lately, but I truly believe, if his heart is still sincere in wanting to continue to be like a Berean, he will come to it. I really do see that in him.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, I know Katrina's spoken to him many times, but I'm sure,
Oh,
he'll
Eddie?
listen to Libby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Eddie.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I send him everything and anything I possibly can. And he checks it all, but I haven't sent him anything recently. But yeah, he's stuck on the moon. It's well, just like our brother Lee said, that his focus is not about probably getting it right as more as the history side of it. But I mean, wouldn't they go hand in hand?
Well, they would
But
go hand in hand. I mean,
yeah,
the true Zadoks didn't go by the moon,
right.
though.
Yeah.
So I don't understand where this moon is coming in when
Well, maybe Libby could get to him,
I
when they do
believe
their meeting.
I tell you, I love that lady. She's such a dear sister. I
I
mean,
love her
her
too.
her fiery, feisty, loving.
I know. I call her way too often than I probably should.
She's a dear, dear, sweet soul.
I'm always calling her.
That's awesome. That is so awesome.
Yeah, she's really great. Longest person that's been following this calendar that I know.
Yeah, I love her testimony. It's beautiful.
So yeah, we only got about 2 hours until our Zoom fellowship. It's probably gonna end it here in just a moment. I still got to pick up my son from his mother's house.
Oh, sure. And I think we
Got to
should
do
all
that.
be really
And
praying, and preparing beforehand that Yah will keep
and
his heart open
I
and
did want,
softened.
yeah, precisely. I did want to
Who's
do
sharing this
like a
time?
group.
Sorry,
What's that
I
again?
just wanted to know
Sorry, no.
who's sharing this time. Are you doing something, Jeremy? Who's? I missed the beginning. Who's doing the teaching on Jackson Snyder's?
So it's not really well, yeah, we're gonna go on Jackson Snyder's Zoom, and it's not gonna be part 4 yet. Our part 4 is gonna be July 6th. But we asked him if he wanted to do a private one with just us, basically, and him, and he agreed to it. So that's what we're gonna do here in a couple hours. It's basically we're just gonna present, just go over the bullet points or just start off asking what Jackson has any questions about, really.
Yeah, I heard all the bit at
Just
the end where you were talking about how you were going to let him ask questions rather than just
yeah.
tackle him or whatever. But I just wondered, so there's not actually an actual set thing, right? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so I don't think it's gonna be recorded, or it may be, but I know it's just a private meeting with us.
Well, we can ask him to see if he could record it. I mean, he could go through it, maybe, just, we'll see, gauge it, whatever. If it's not, it's not. But, just to talk. And do you think that he wouldn't mind the group being there? Like, did you say it in a way that, is it just supposed to be me and you, or just you, or the group, or?
Well, I labeled it as a private discussion with me and you, basically our group.
Okay. Okay.
And
All right.
I'll just remind them when we get on, like, hey, anybody who's trying to get in is just probably from our group, so they're not gonna interrupt or bring the Pharisee trap questions, so forth. But yeah, definitely need you and Marissa, Miranda. It'd be great if Ellie can make it. Just basically the ones who were presenting in the first place, and then we can just, when we're asking them questions or vice versa, I can be like, oh well, Katrina has this good visual she can use, or Marissa has a lot of information about the stars, things like that. Ellie knows about that history of the Saturn's day, so.
Yep. Saturn's day was not an uninterrupted cycle in the time of our Messiah on a solar-only calendar.
Exactly. So yeah, no, it's probably do some prayer before it. We do a little group call before it. And yeah, might end it here for right now, just so we have time to prepare. And then I gotta go pick up my son and come back before it's time. So should have time for that, definitely.
So you'll let us know. We'll get on here for prayer before we go on the Zoom.
Yeah, sure, we can do that. I was thinking a group call with me, Katrina, and them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We can probably get on here. Yeah. That was just prayer in general. Pray before it and pray, we're able to speak the Father's words and help Jackson to be able to understand. But I think
That's
it's
good.
really awesome. Yeah. And yeah,
Just
Ken,
it's good.
Ken, if you're still up here in a couple hours, feel free to join. You got some amazing insights as well. Everybody here does, really. That's why, as a group, we join in and I can be like, oh, they're really good about this, or if someone can help explain better, But yeah.
So is it 8:00 Eastern time, which means it'd be 7:00 Central and 6:00 your time and 5:00 Pacific and like that?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So I believe it'll be 7 for you. And then,
All right.
Yeah.
And how much
same for
before the
us.
call do you want to get together to pray?
I think we should.
we can do
No, I'm
that.
asking how long before, so I can set my alarm just so I don't get distracted.
I'd say 20, 30 minutes before it.
Okay, so on the half hour.
Yeah.
All right, an hour and a half from now. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
Exactly.
good.
look forward to time with y'all again.
Yeah, perfect. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Yep. Shabbat shalom.
And we will see everybody here soon. And, thanks everybody for joining. Truly appreciate every one of you. Much love to each and every one of you. So, Shabbat Shalom.
Ditto, Jeremy.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll meet here before.
Shabbat shalom.
Yeah, Shabbat Shalom. We'll do the prayer before, and then we'll see you all then.